Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Plotlines. I'm your host, Connor. It is Easter Monday, and I hope all of you are having a fantastic Easter. I hope you had a very peaceful time with your families yesterday, and I hope it continues as we continue further into the Easter octave and into through the Easter season. Now, today I want to talk about Richard Dawkins. Now, Richard Dawkins was a prominent, or is a prominent atheist. Uh, he's been called one of the four horsemen of new atheism, that sort of thing. I brought his part of the thumbnail of this video is this image of a bus that says there's probably no God and now stop worrying and enjoy your life. But it's quite funny because I think Dawkins is worried very much for his life as well as for the culture of his Britain. He's a British evolutionary scientist. He was a professor at Oxford, and he's been, trying to bring down Christianity, basically. And in some sense, he's been quite successful. But the problem is that hole that Christianity filled is going to be filled by something else now. And it's clear that he is now afraid of what is going to fill that. Now, I have this clip that I want to show you guys he was on LBC recently, and we're going to take a look at it. So, hold on. Let me just get this situated. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so while I'm getting this set up, the point is just it's so sad to see somebody have this whole, this plan in his head, this goal in mind, and coming to the realization that his goal is going to destroy the culture and the life that he, wanted to have. Okay, I figured it out. Here it is.
Well, I must say I was slightly horrified to hear that Ramadan is being promoted instead. I do think that we are culturally a Christian country. I call myself a cultural Christian. I'm not a believer, but there's a distinction between being a believing Christian and being a cultural Christian. And so, I love hymns and Christmas carols, and I sort of feel at home in the Christian ethos. I feel that we are.
Now, he sort of likes the cultural Christian. He's calling himself a cultural Christian. I don't know if he said this before, but while he was beating down Christianity and trying to argue against theism. Of course, he's not. He's still, he's still saying that he's an atheist, but he's saying the Christian culture, the culture that Christianity built, is the culture I want to be a part of. That's where he identifies with. And he does not want to be part of anything else. But it's basically he's saying he wants Christianity without Christ, which, I mean, has been a battle for such a long time that's been going on. And you can see that also in somewhat with the argument over sort of the Christ is King thing, because with the argument over Christ is King, that it's anti-Semitic or whatever, part of being a Christian is bringing people to Christ and the recognizing that Christ is King, but saying Christ is King is quote unquote now anti-Semitic. So therefore it's basically anti-Semitic to basically recognize Christ and do as Christ wanted you to do, which is bring others to him. So in the same way that those Christians sort of want to take Christ out of the political sphere, basically Dawkins wants to take Christ out of the religion itself. So therefore, there is no God, according to him. And that's basically what he wants. He wants a culture without without the theism.
Are a Christian country in that sense. It's true that statistically, the number of people who actually believe in Christianity is going down, and I'm happy with that. But I would not be happy.
He's happy with the decline of Christianity. He's basically saying, I like the culture, but the thing that produced the culture, I want it to go away. It's delusional that he thinks that that culture is going to stick around any longer, and that there has to be something that fills that, and which is what he's going to come to. But it's so weird that he comes to this but doesn't really understand what the heck's going on. He's still applauding the destruction of Christianity.
If, for example, we lost all our cathedrals and our beautiful parish churches, so I count myself a cultural Christian. I think it wouldn't matter if we substituted any alternative religion. That would be truly dreadful.
Well, which brings me to my supplementary point, which is that, as we know, church attendance is plummeting, but the erection of mosques across Europe, I think 6,000 are under construction, and there are many more, are being planned. So do you regard that as a problem? Do you think that matters?
Yes, I do, really. I mean, I might choose my words carefully. I mean,
he has to choose his words carefully because he knows that Islam is basically a threat to his own life and a threat to everybody who is not a Muslim. It's so insane. But, AI Sharatori sort of brings up that he defanged Christianity and handed it over basically to others. So to be filled by Muslims. And that's part of sort of, immigration policies that have happened in the UK. But this is just a culmination of terrible, terrible setup regarding culture, but that he was a part of, and now he's whining about it.
I had to choose between Christianity and Islam. I choose Christianity every single time. I mean, it seems to me to be a fundamentally decent religion, in a way that I think Islam is not.
I think you're going to have to explain why you say that, Professor Dawkins. Why is Islam fundamentally not decent like Christianity?
Yes, I mean, the way women are treated. I mean, Christianity is not great about that. It's had its problems with female vicars and female bishops and things. But
I love how that's basically like being mean to women. Being mean to women is not well, I mean, I think it goes further. It's like, not letting, he's basically saying not letting women do whatever they want, whether that's be in charge of religion, being priestesses and bishopesses and stuff like that. But I think at the heart of it, really, it's, Christianity doesn't want to allow the mothers to kill their own children, which is the ridiculous thing to say. That's mean to women. Okay, there you go, Dawkins.
But there's an active hostility to women, which is promoted, I think, by the holy books of Islam. I'm not talking about individual Muslims, who, of course, are quite different. But the doctrines of Islam, the Hadith and the Quran, is fundamentally hostile to women, hostile to gays.
It's weird that he's also pointing out that it's that he's talking about sort of not individual Muslims and that sort of thing. And, obviously, they, just like in Catholicism, which I know well, is that there's plenty of these cafeteria Catholics, which actually, if anybody knows, Cardinal Wilton Gregory of the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C., called Biden a cafeteria Catholic, which basically means that he takes what he wants and doesn't deal with what he has. But the point is that, yes, there are probably Muslims that do that, but Muslims have a different culture because they have a different religion, and because most of them are coming from different cultures as well. So they've built their own culture. So the culture that he is saying that he's okay with is not the one that he's promoting. He's sort of, or sorry, not the one that's going to happen if anybody converts to Islam and everyone leaves Christianity. So if there's a small minority of Muslims in, say, the UK and basically zero Christians, what do you think the culture will be? It will not be Christianity. It might be some sort of paganism, or it might be some sort of secular nihilist, something like that, or it's going to be, basically created by the Muslims, and the Muslims are going to grow at a rapid pace, which I think they already are, and they're going to create their own culture, and Dawkins is going to lose his the culture he likes.
And I find that I like to live in a culturally Christian country, although I do not believe a single word of the Christian faith.
I mean, that's he wants the Christianity. He wants the sort of the culture of the Christian, but he doesn't believe in anything. He doesn't believe in anything at the heart of it. I mean, he believes in science. He worships science, basically. I mean, science to me is like, it's like looking at a map with absolutely no idea of direction that you want to go. Like, you're just going to be going completely, you're basically like blindfolded. With religion, you at least have some idea where you're going to be taken, where you want to go. And that's just not what you have when you're this atheist focused on ending religion, which he can't do. That's the thing, is he's basically realizing that he tried to destroy the religion that was most comfortable to him. I mean, it's probably because he has he has a God problem, of course, and he also probably has a father problem. All these different things, is he sees Christianity as the problem, the thing that he's having trouble coping with. But now he's seeing like a sort of a big bad evil father in Islam, which he's even more afraid of. And the way he sort of isn't able to sort of criticize Islam as thoroughly as he probably would Christianity, he's so afraid of the consequences of Islam coming into his world and changing the culture, and basically enforcing new blasphemy laws that he will fall victim to, or who knows, they might bring back taxes on non-Muslims, such as they did, I believe, in the Ottoman Empire. All these different things. I mean, there's so many things that that Islam will change fundamentally about the culture that Dawkins is afraid of. But of course, he did this. He's not solely responsible, of course. I don't think he solely brought Christianity to a low. That's ridiculous as well. I think the new atheists just kind of jumped in when they saw that there was a moment that they could easily undermine Christianity through through liberalism. And now the liberal moment is dying. Liberalism is dying because it's been replaced by basically the woke and the socialism. So there's no liberalism will not be the end. It will just lead to either a return to some kind of tradition, which for Dawkins, Islam would be frightful. Though I don't think he would like to live in an actual Christian culture, which is still a culture. What do you think a culturally Christian literally means? It means a culture built by Christianity. And surrounded by Christianity. So but he's trying to argue that he's not really a cultural Christian in the sense that he's a Christian by or culture, that he likes a Christian culture. He likes a culture that is liberal with little bits of Christian sort of uh, symbolism and artwork and maybe sort of belief that belief in forgiveness and that sort of thing. But of course, that's not going to be allowed in Islam. Yeah, I mean, this is true. AI Sharator is just in the chat saying that the Boomer Revolution against everything that was England and Britain has come to this. This is what they've been building to. They are getting rid of the indigenous people. They're tired of the actual English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Northern Irish. They're tired of them. They want them gone. They want to replace them with sort of the members of the empire, the Indians, the Pakistanis, and stuff like that. They want to replace them because they think they're, maybe easily manipulated, or they just sort of self-hatred kind of thing. And part of that is removing Christianity, because also Christianity is a civilizer. And if you remove Christianity, there will be no possibility of civilization. Anyways, so that's mainly what I wanted to talk about. I just think it's kind of hilarious how pathetic the new atheists have become. Sam Harris is absolutely off his rocker. I think what did he say about, like, if he was so something about if, like, Biden's family did some crazy crime, that he would still, want, if Biden murdered people or something like that, he'd still vote for Biden and stuff like that, and he'd want that suppressed or stuff like that, like sort of the whole Biden family stuff. And then I mean, Christopher Hitchens is dead. Can't remember who the other one is, but anyways, the whole point is this: they've basically done what they set out to do, and now they're regretting a lot of what they did, even though but still with blinders on. They still don't really know the answers. They don't realize that there's a way that they can go backward. They can go back and they can fix what they've done. But that's sort of the coping of Dawkins saying, I'm a cultural Christian. He's a cultural Christian in the sense that he just likes books, he likes art, he likes all the things that came from Christianity, but without Christ. And that's just sad. So it just shows how weak the atheist movement was, and how they weren't trying to actually provide anybody anything. They were just trying to destroy, and they have no answers, and they're not going to provide anything, and they're not even going to be able to defend you against the Muslim takeover of a country, because they have no defense against Islam, because Islam hasn't been liberalized. I mean, it sometimes can be secularized. That's sort of closest they can get, but that usually requires the state to be in control of Islam. But that's not the case right now. Islam is not going to be state controlled. It's going to control the state, and that is an incredibly dangerous situation for Europe. And America may not be that far that way, but the Muslims are taking a lot of, or putting a lot of influence, or getting a lot of influence in the Democratic Party at the moment. And that's why they're focusing on Palestine and foreign affairs that don't necessarily concern the United States or Britain. but these are just sort of first steps towards, more control. Well, thank you all for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and God bless. Bye.